Hello, hello, hello. Welcome inside Studio S for a Wednesday edition of Market Movers. December 21st, we're coming up on the Jolly Guy making his rounds around the world. Just a programming note before we hop into today's proper programming. Final show of the year is going to be tomorrow. I'm off next week. Good to get some R&R between some holidays and New Year's. So just FYI, tomorrow we're going to have Alex Kane in studio for sort of a year wrap-up, not only for 2022, but also for Sporttrade. We'll talk a little bit about what we've learned, what we've changed, what worked, maybe what hasn't worked, and what you can expect from Sporttrade heading forward in 2023. There's one thing I do want to sort of point our attention to as I'm staring at my board here, and I think I programmed the right one. There it is. Okay. Before we hop in here, we've been talking a lot about futures markets because they're really popular. People really like futures markets on Sporttrade. And obviously, we're going to talk about things people seem to love. I just want to keep bringing people's attention to this. AFC South. We've talked a lot about the NFC South. We've talked a lot about the AFC North. So much of getting the most value out of Sporttrade and sports betting is finding where the value lies. Here are the Titans. Here are the Jaguars as they are currently being traded on Sporttrade. Just want to let you guys know, Jaguars have already played the Titans. They crushed them. And they do play one more time before the year is up. Jaguars trail in that division by only one game, and that's it. All right. Laying it on pretty thick here, Dan. Why don't you move on? Okay, we have Jeff Kerr on the program today. We had an opportunity to chat with him a little bit ago. Here's Jeff. Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports and Jacob Media, a home and home. I was on your show earlier this morning, and now you're returning the favor. We really appreciate it. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, Dan, you know what? It's great to see you. What's it been, only 4 hours?
Yeah, well, we talked all about the Jalen Hurts situation on Good Morning NFC East. We talked all about the NFL, the 49ers, basically battling for NFC supremacy. I'm curious because obviously we're based in Philadelphia. We talk a lot about Philadelphia-based teams and New York teams, being that we're live in New Jersey. This situation with Jalen Hurts, where he hasn't been ruled out yet, he has an injured shoulder, but we're not really sure if he's going to play or not play. The betting markets are going insane. Does it remind you at all of 2017 when Carson Wentz was also playing at MVP level? He obviously tore his ACL and was out for the year, but it is eerily reminiscent of this.
You know, it's funny because it's the same time in the season, right? You know, obviously the date line it was a little earlier for Carson Wentz, but we got to remember there were 17 weeks in the year, not 18. And as I remember correctly, Nick Foles played 3 games, and if Gardner Minshew would play 3 games, and pretty much the Eagles almost have everything clinched. Now, the Eagles clinched the NFC East the day Carson Wentz got hurt. They haven't clinched it yet, but in a way, though, Dan, the Dallas game is essentially meaningless for Philadelphia. All they have to do is win one of their last 3 games. They don't have to win on Saturday.
It's very true, right? So now the conversation for Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen and everybody involved in the offensive meeting room becomes, well, how do we weigh what we want, right? Do we want to punt on the Dallas Cowboys game, considering we have the Saints who are bad and the Giants who are probably also bad, right? And all they have to do is win one of those to lock up home field. But then you have the rest versus Russ thing too, right? Because if Hurts just doesn't play for the next month, and then you throw him out there in a divisional night game at home or something like that, you know, it stands within reason. He's just not going to be as prepared as maybe he could be.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the calculated risk you worry about here, Dan. So what personally, and I said this on Good Morning NFC East today. Jalen Hurts sounds like a guy who's going to play Saturday. Now, the Eagles aren't going to tip their hand, right? I mean, in a way, this is Thursday now in the NFL week compared to Wednesday because the games are on Saturday. So I think we're going to find out tomorrow who's actually going to start. My gut tells me Hurts. My head tells me Minshew, so I really don't know. But I still think they can go in there and beat Dallas with Gardner Minshew. Personally, I think what they should do is roll with Minshew this week. If you roll with him and win, you get an added bonus to it. And then I would say Jalen Hurts, okay, let's get you prepared to play against the Saints. And we can play you there. You can play a full game, do whatever you need to do just to keep you healthy, keep you fresh. And then you don't play anybody in week 18 because it's not going to mean anything if you win. If not, I think you still roll with Hurts in that Saints game. So I will say this. I don't think Jalen Hurts' MVP odds are shifted either way if Gardner Minshew wins. If they lose, I actually think it helps Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to explode is Twitter. That's really it. We've got in the middle here our markets on Sporttrade, Jeff. So if you can see that, we've got the Eagles at $34 per share per contract, the Cowboys at $67.5. I mentioned on Good Morning NFC East, this thing completely went the other way when news started trickling out that somebody on the Eagles was hurt on Monday, and it just cascaded towards the Dallas Cowboys. So this is where it is at last check. Our line is Eagles plus 6.5, Cowboys minus 6.5. I think that's too many. I think even though the market agrees with me because at 58% chance, anything above 50 on Sporttrade is a bet in American odds that would be minus. At minus 141 is the equivalent there. That's a lot to pay for 6.5. But I would do it, frankly. And then you look at the total, 45.5. Can I get a prediction from you before we move on?
Ooh.
Hard to say. Hard to say. Just straight up on the to win.
I think the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. You know what? I'll say they beat them. I think they beat them by a touchdown or more. Jalen Hurts plays. I think they win a close game at Gardner Minshew play. I think Minshew will play well enough. Oh, by the way, Dallas Goedert's coming back, so that's going to be a big plus for the Eagles.
We'll zoom out here. We'll look at the NFC rather, and we're going to play a game here we've never played on Market Movers, so this is a good bully for you, Jeff. We're going to call this Market Maker. So this is the market for the NFC Championship. So that means all these teams are listed, not in order, but these are the top 6 teams in the NFC to win the conference. And now, Jeff, you're going to have to guess what their price, their percentage is to win. Obviously, they can't all be 50. It adds up to roughly 100. So why don't we start up top with the 49ers, Jeff? Your guess for what they would be priced on Sporttrade in our market right now, the futures markets, to win the conference.
You know what? I'll go 69. We'll go with that.
60. You think, okay, so you think the Niners are priced at $69 to win the NFC.
Why not? Why not?
Okay.
I like their chances.
Okay. You like their chances and jokes, I guess. All right. The Vikings.
I didn't intend for that to be a joke, by the way.
Okay.
I was going to say 60. I'm like, you know what? We'll up it. The Vikings, I'll go 41.
Well, this has to add up to 100. I think I said that. I think I said that. So I was just saying, you're not leaving a ton of space for the 49ers. So do you want to revisit your 49ers?
Yeah. Let me revisit that. I'll go 53 with the 49ers. Though.
Okay, so you still think they are by far the heavy favorite. Okay, 53 to the 49ers. The Vikings.
I'll go
It's
5.
quick math. It's quick math. 5. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. This is basically like supermarket sweep. You're doing it in real time. The Philadelphia Eagles, who you said are better than the Cowboys.
Yeah. See, now this is where I want to change it.
You feel free. This isn't Family Feud. You don't have 20 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Give me 50. Give me 53 for the Eagles. I'm going to switch to 49ers.
53 for the Eagles. Okay. So 53 for the Eagles. Who do you want for the Niners? Or what do you want for the Niners again?
Give me. You know what? I played this so wrong.
That's okay. That's okay.
You know what? Okay, so I'm gonna revisit all this. Give
Sure.
me 38 for the Eagles.
Okay.
Give me 33 for the Niners.
38 for the Eagles. You're in. For the Niners, you want 30.
33.
33. Okay.
So I'm at 76 now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's very quick math. It doesn't have to add up to 100. You're obviously not going to get it exactly right. Cowboys.
Give me 12 for the Cowboys.
Okay. That feels more appropriate. I have not looked today, but that feels more appropriate. Okay, the Detroit Football Lions. Now, in full disclosure, Jeff, I just bought 20 shares of the Lions to win the NFC. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think if they get matched up in the 2-7 game and go to Minnesota, I think they win that game. So I'm on the Lions.
I think the Lions win out. I'll tell you what. Give me $7 for the Lions.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I think their chances are better than the Vikings right now. I really do, just based on how they're playing.
Hey, last 3 games of the year for the Lions. Panthers, Bears, Packers. Real path to 10-7 for them. And finally, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, I'd give them a negative if I could. But what do I got left? $5?
The lowest is 50 cents.
Yeah, give me 50 cents.
All right. Well, let's do some. Well, we can either do that, or I can pull up the calculator real quick, and I can tell you how much you have left. How about we do that?
I think I have $4.50 left, if I'm not mistaken. Just doing it in my head.
That might be true. I'm a communications major, and not anything else. You've got $5 left.
I got $5 left. Well, then give me the $5.
All right, $5 on the Bucs. So we'll recap real quickly here. The first ever market maker segment on the show. You've got the
I was
Eagles.
terrible, by the way.
No, you were great. There was literally 0 bar for this game because we've never played it. So we've got the Eagles at 38, the Niners at 33, the Cowboys at 12, the Vikings at 5, the Lions at 7, and the Buccaneers at 5. Drum roll, please. Here's the big reveal. So you've got the Eagles at 38-5. So great job.
How about that?
Great job, Jeff. Fantastic work. The Niners at 25-5. So maybe to you, there's some value there. There's a little wiggle room there, about $5 worth of wiggle room.
Just because I like their team, as I told you earlier. Good morning, NFC East.
So 25-5, a lot of value. You're undervaluing the Cowboys according to our markets on Sporttrade. They're 18-5. The Vikings at 8.5. Tampa Bay at 6.5. And the lowly Detroit Lions, $3.
I put some money on that.
As I mentioned, Jeff, as I mentioned, if you look closely, you may not be able to see this, but maybe our viewers can. A little check mark below the Detroit Lions, and it says 20 contracts. Your boy put 20 shares down in the Detroit Lions to win. Now, obviously, in full disclosure as well, I am heavily involved on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl as well. As you can see, 17 contracts in the Super Bowl market. So the Jalen Hurts injury presents another opportunity for me to buy low after they dropped $2.50. Quickly, Jeff, I know you've got to run pretty soon, so why don't we hop into some NBA real quick. Busy night in the association. You've got the Pistons and the Sixers. The Bucks and the Cavaliers presents a very interesting game, I think, because you've got a Bucks team that is on a crucial 4-game roadie right now, which includes games against Cleveland. It includes a game at Boston as well. On Christmas Day, I believe, or Christmas Eve. And the Cavaliers, since acquiring Donovan Mitchell the offseason, have been a consistent top 3 team in the East. Currently, we've got the Cavaliers at 54-5 to win that game outright. It's -122, and the Bucks at 47. This, to me, screams like an opportunity to grab the Bucks. What do you think?
Yeah, Cleveland's good at home, but I agree. I would take the Bucks. I really would. I know the Bucks are slumping right now, but they're still the Bucks, and I know, like, if you're a betting man, you probably would take Cleveland in this, but I'll tell you, Dan, I can make a lot of money with the Bucks. I feel like that's the play right now. Plus 111, I would take that. Buy a couple of shares in that.
So perhaps the only caveat to this is Chris Middleton's day-to-day, but the Bucks have basically played the entire season without Chris Middleton.
Anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah, right. And the Bucks on a bit of a heater, too, as well. I think they've won 6 of their last 7 against pretty decent competition as well. So, and we all know, the Bucks the last 3 years could be looking at a situation where, Chris Middleton doesn't get hurt last year. They may go back-to-back. Really good basketball team. Elsewhere in the association, the Warriors and Nets, although Warriors have a ton of injuries right now, there was one more game I wanted to look at. Lakers and Kings. Have you been surprised by what this Kings team has been able to do this year?
You know what? They're one of the teams that I don't get to pay attention to as much, obviously, with covering the NFL and stuff. But yeah,
and you get up at like 6 a.m. for a radio show every day, so I don't blame you for not staying up.
Oh, exactly. Like, the only time I hear about what the Kings are doing or what certain players are doing on the Kings, and I happened to look at the standings. I think it was like 2 days ago. I'm like, wait, the Kings are what?
Yeah.
Like, when did this happen? So I'll tell you what, I love the Kings value right now. I really do. Like, I feel like you could have made a lot of money just betting on any Sacramento Kings game this year.
So the Kings are in 6th in the Western Conference. Let's pull up the futures. Let's see what the market looks like. Now, we won't have some of the more specific markets till a little later, but right now it looks like you can get the Kings at 80 cents to win the Larry OB right now.
I don't think I go to that.
Okay. I will say we've had a lot of action in our app on the Pellies. So the Pelicans.
That's what I said the Pellies I would take. Peanut butter Pelly time. I'd take them.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to steal that. Yeah, the Pelicans this year were $1.50 at the open of the season and now at $4. And I have to imagine they're going to keep going up. I mean, that team is loaded. I love what I'm seeing from them.
They're stacked. They got Brandon Ingram. They got Zion Williamson. They're one of the few teams I actually get to watch on TNT every once in a while. And they always play well. I mean, they just whooped the Suns' butt the other day, too, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken. He is Jeff Kerr. You can catch him on Jacob Media, Good Morning NFC East, CBS as well. Anything else you'd like to plug, Jeff?
You know what? Just follow my stuff on CBSSports.com. I mean, I'm on Good Morning NFC East. I'm everywhere, Dan. You know that. I'm always posting where I'm at these days.
My favorite thing about your Twitter is that you're always posting the stats that get the people's blood moving. Eagles are first in this, second in this, first in this. People love it. They're smashing the like button and the retweet. I love it.
You know what's funny about all that? Everybody thinks I'm trying to send a message. I'm like, I don't send messages. Facts send the message.
Yeah, I've been trying to send you messages on Twitter forever. You don't respond. No messages sent at all. It's a bad joke.
I'm here, aren't I? Click the link.
Bad joke on my part. Jeff Kerr, thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sounds great, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Just want to bookend the program today, and thanks again to Jeff for hopping on with us. Want to bookend the program just by showing you a little bit what I was talking about. We're not going to have a chance to really talk Thursday Night Football too much tomorrow with Alex, so just wanted to bring y'all's attention right here. Jags and Jets coming up tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football. We got football all weekend, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. As I mentioned, those Jaguars trading at just 47% per share, $47 per share per contract, to beat the New York Jets on Thursday. And if they can do that, put a little more pressure on those Tennessee Titans. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. That's Market Movers for today. Again, our last show of the year coming up tomorrow with founder and CEO Alex Kane. This is high time for See You Next Year's season. I'm not going to do that because I respect my coworkers here in the office. So I'm not going to say that. But we will see you tomorrow again, the last Market Movers of 2022. I want to thank everybody for tuning in throughout the lifetime of this show. We started in September 19th, I think, was the first Market Movers. And, we're rapidly approaching a pretty significant milestone here in terms of viewers that hopefully we'll be able to share with everybody tomorrow as we say goodbye to 2022 and look forward to 2023. That's the show. We'll catch you tomorrow.